What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? This your girl La, and welcome to another episode of Whatever You Say. And you know what time it is? This is when we take the time to share this video on our platform. So right now, I'm just going on the Whatever You Say podcast Facebook page, and I'm going to share it to my page. So if you guys can all do the same, I would greatly appreciate it, so more people can see this show today. All right. So here I go. I'm getting a little bit better with this because I used to suck for real, for real. Let's see. All right. Period. All right, here we go. So, welcome to another episode. We are still in Capricorn season, and my birthday is tomorrow, which ends the season of the goat. And listen, it's still our year. We're the beginning and the end. So, shout out to all my Capricorns out there. And we have a special show today. Today we're talking about living single, guys. A lot of us know much about it because the millennium that we live in right now, it's a lot of that going on, a whole lot of. Yeah, before we get started, just wanted to give a shout out to Bohemian Noir. I am wearing one of their pieces today. Shout out to my girl, Bohemian Noir. There goes her IG page, guys. Make sure you follow them. Go on their website. They are pretty dope. I'm one of their ambassadors. You might have seen me rock some of their gear on my platform. So yeah, check out my girl all the time. Yeah, Karita, I love you, girl. So she's been on our show once upon a time on the Millennial Dating Show, and she has a dope store in our town as well called Bohemian Noir. So check them out when y'all get a chance. But without further ado, because I don't like to ramble on, let me introduce y'all to our guest today. What's up, guys? What's up?
What's going on?
What's up,
Going
y'all?
on? And we have one of the crowd's favorite. I had to ask my girl to come back on. She's I had a few people hit me up like, who that? Who that? So I'm gonna let her introduce herself again. And here you go.
Oh, what's good, y'all? DJ Sienna Chanel. Grateful to be back on the show. I love what you're doing here, and yeah, we'll get into all the other stuff later.
Thank you, sis. Thank you for being on the show once again. I appreciate you. I appreciate your honesty. I just appreciate your vibe in general, and I think that the people appreciate you too. But who else do we have here? State your name. Tell us about yourself.
How you doing? This is William Rutledge Podcast. Just up here. I'm happy to join Toya. You know what I'm saying? And just give a piece of what I could bring to the table.
Well, I'm glad to have you on the show as well, and I'm grateful to hear your insight. And I'm sorry, guys, that we're so late. But it is what it is. The show must go on. We're gonna get through these questions. You feel me? So, state your name. Tell us who you are.
My name is Javon Dr. Love Jones. I am just excited to get into this conversation about living single. Yes, I'm excited. So let's get this going.
Yes. Okay, so let's just get straight into the questions. The first question is, what made you decide to be single? Well, because I know with some, I wanted to ask this question a little different instead of saying, why are you single? But I was like, you know what? It's a decision for a lot of us. So, Will, I'm going to let you start off.
Well, after my past relationship with my kid's mom, I felt like it was time for me to take a hiatus because I needed time to heal. I didn't want to take a lot of the damage and trauma that I had from that relationship into the next one. And
Mm.
a lot of good friends that I had told me that, you know what, take the time that you need because you're gonna keep on jumping from relationship to relationship, and you're not gonna know why. So that's honestly the reason why I am in the position I'm in, and I'm actually happy that I did it for myself.
And that's good because I'm not gonna say I took the same route.
Hmm.
I think, like, I was looking for a void filler at some point in my life, and just being honest, and I was just like, you know what, you treated me this way, well, watch, somebody's out there that's going to treat me better. But when you're not healed, then it's so like understandably, like where you are is where I am now, but it takes some time for some of us. What you got to say? We're gonna pass it over to my girl Sienna.
I'll say who, which one? Um, it's twofold. I will say like one is just difficult to find somebody in general that we're on the same page in terms of like what we want out of a relationship. So I can't really say it's like just completely like this is just 100% my choice. Like I don't want to have a significant other at all. I won't say that. The other part of it is definitely like I have a book and it's called one book I have is called How to Duck a Sucker, but another another book is How to Love Him Without Losing You. And for
Mm,
Mm.
me, a lot of the time when I'm like in a relationship, I tend to put all of my focus, my emotional energy, my everything into that relationship. And
uh-huh.
I don't know if any of you have ever seen the old movie now called Runaway Bride, but I definitely related to that movie because I felt like a lot of times I would lose myself in the relationship. Like, I don't know what I prefer now, or like what I want to do now. It's still
Mm,
more based on like what this person wants to do. So
mm,
a lot of times I've, maybe stayed away from the idea of being in a relationship. I don't think that I've been um, maybe open enough to receive the type of relationship that I want because I'm afraid of losing myself again. There's still so many things that I want to do and focus on that I feel like sometimes in a relationship, well, I know generally that's what I've done. I've just put those things on the back burner and focused on the man. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really want to do that, you know what I'm saying? So like I do, but I haven't found the balance. So for me, that's what I'll say has like kept me single, like
yeah,
it's twofold. Like I haven't really found anybody that I want to be with, one, and then
right.
also like kind of afraid of finding that person because I don't want to like forget who I am in the process.
That lazy love.
If that makes sense. Oh yeah, girl, I'll be like locked in. The rest of the world doesn't exist
Don't exist.
when I'm
That's
in a
it.
relationship. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Their dreams, their goals, their aspirations.
yeah, I start nesting very quickly. Like I'm very much into like, oh, and maybe I don't, we always talk about this. Maybe I don't give that vibe to people. But when I'm locked in with a person, it is Capricorn season. When we locked in, we're all the way locked in. There's
Very
no
loyal.
games to be played at all.
Very
So,
loyal.
right, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's difficult to find somebody that's about to match that energy too. That's another level of it, but okay.
Right, right. Listen, I'm sending energy your way. I'm sending that manifestation your way. God bless it, honey. Bless it. And my way too. Shoot, I ain't leaving myself out the equation because
Right. You don't need it, girl.
what you gotta say, Javon?
Uh, I like this question. Because I feel like we often don't. We are choosing single better than mediocre or relationship doesn't fulfill us, right? Because every one of us, I believe, can get in a relationship if we want. So it's either I prefer to be single than to just be in any old relationship that's going to take me from my higher self or my calling or my growth. So
Yeah.
I love this question. For me, the reason why is simple. For one, I haven't aligned my energy to attract that person that's going to be a purpose that we're going to connect on that level vibrationally and be that person to elevate each other and fulfill each other's desires. I haven't found that person or I haven't attracted that person. So
Mm,
in the meantime, I've just been continue to work on me, continue to work on what I could work on, do what I can do for myself, put myself in a vibrational position that when I'm there and we attract, we lock in and it is what it is from there.
Got you.
yeah. Yeah, I totally get where you're coming from. Like the dating game has been very funny. And then it's like everybody has that you see the first layer first, and
Taylor.
then once you start peeling back, and it's just like, oh no, we do not connect on this level, and it's okay. But it's kind of sad sometimes because it'd be like, tag, like you get. I like the representative. The representative is always nice. The attraction, the physicality of it all. But then it's like once you get into a conversation, why sometimes they lack conversation and so on and so forth. So
And I'm gonna say this too. One of the things that do kind of irk my nerve when a person do ask you, "Why are you single?" Like that irks me.
and why you single too?
Like,
Or they
like,
say like, "What's wrong with you?" Like
like,
something got to be wrong with you if you're single. Especially if you've
like
been single as long as I've been single.
it's,
You'll
it,
definitely get that question.
yeah, it's like, okay, you look good. Why you don't got nobody?
Just because you
That's
look
not
good
how that works.
settle. And the people, and there's a lot of people, and shout out to the people who have been in relationships for a long time, but I don't take it as a stamp for me just to say, oh, I'm in a relationship, because a lot of times you look at those pictures and these people are miserable or they've been through a hell of a lot. And it's like, not to say that we're not going to experience things in life, but it's like, to the extent that I've known some of these people to have experienced things, I would rather pass. Like, I would rather pass. I don't want to go through that at this age in my life. At this age, we should be mature enough to handle ourselves like adults.
I,
So,
I agree.
let's see. What are your advantages to being single? We're gonna.
Freedom. You get freedom. You have freedom. That's an advantage of being single, is just pure and utter freedom. And I dare someone to ask me what I'm about to do or where I'm at or who I'm with or what's happening next, because you don't have to answer to anybody. That's one thing that I really do appreciate about being single, is like, one, that I don't have to answer to anybody, and then two, that I'm not, so here we go, losing myself. Like, I'm not concerned about what anybody else is doing. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like, we're talking about relationships that are not the best all the time, right? And I've definitely been a part of those types of relationships. And
Right.
a lot of my, again, time, energy, thoughts went to what that person was doing, where they were, why they didn't respond, why they responded like this, why they didn't respond at this time, like all of these weird, dumb, crazy things. And I'll say that, like, that's my craziness, or like my craziness for putting up with craziness long enough that was the ideas in my mind. Because that's something I do now right away. Like, if there's even an inkling of me feeling like I gotta question you or that type of thing, I'm out. I'm already out. Like, I don't even want to do that. Like, oh, you might be lying, or you saying one thing, but someone, like, I'm done already.
The tolerance is like low. It's like,
I would expect the same if I'm not being honest to a man about like where I am or what I'm doing or something. Like, the fuck, like no, I'm just saying, it's like, come on, what are you doing?
Right, exactly. I hear a knock at the door, y'all. Did y'all hear that? I think we got another person that's trying
knock,
to
knock.
knock. We're gonna let you state your name and tell the people who you are. What's going on?
Oh, hey y'all. My name is Sherry Kansius. So sorry to be running ridiculously late. Traffic coming home is like insane. But I was tuned in and listening to y'all as you got kicked off. I heard some interesting topics. It's like I can go down a rabbit hole with everything that everyone said. But I'm happy to be here and happy to be a part of this experience. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you.
No problem at all. I appreciate you too. We're gonna let you answer this next question. What are your advantages to being single?
Oh, child. My advantages to being single. My freedom, because this comes up in so many conversations. Like, I feel like my freedom. I can wake up and say, okay, I'm gone. I don't have to tell anybody where I'm going, what I'm doing. I mean, as far as being safe, I can let my family know what I'm up to, but I don't have that like combative. I'm not saying that in a relationship there is always somebody combative, but I mean, you have schedules. We have conflicting schedules. You got to try to work together. And I think I kind of like my freedom, or I like for somebody to be able to roll with me. So I think being single is kind of just an easier like flow in that sense.
Nice, nice, nice. We got Lamont that sent us a message saying the advantage is time, work on yourself to become the person, to attract the person that you want. Yes, I know that's right. I think that it's still out here. I think that I do believe that a lot of us need time to work on ourselves to know what we ultimately want, because we really don't know what we want. Sometimes we just want a companion. We just want to be with someone because that is the norm. You see it on TV, you see it online. People look so happy and everything like that, but at the same time, that comes with work, and that depends. Like you may find the person that's on the same level as you, that's not so codependent, working on their self and their career, and it allows you to be able to work on yours as well, because that's what I don't need right now. I already got a codependent 2-year old, so I ain't trying to be nobody else's mother. You feel me? So what you gotta say? Cause Will, what you gotta say?
I gotta agree with both of the ladies, man. At the end of the day, I love my freedom. I love having a peace of mind. I like the fact that when I want to get up and go, like she said, I can go. Nobody's not checking for me. But on the flip side, I do want to make my kids, I want to make my mom aware of what I'm doing, just because, like you said, safety. But overall, it's just the peace of mind and being able to focus on myself, so that when it does come time for me to link with somebody, I'm at a point in my life where I feel comfortable. And I know that what I'm bringing to the table is like 100%. I'm not trying to come 50-50. I'm trying to come 100, and whatever she going to bring.
And that's funny that you said that, because somebody hit me in my inbox recently. That's like a close family friend, and he was talking about how he likes this girl, and he was like, I don't know how to tell her, but at this point, I feel like I should tell her because I'm not ultimately where I want to be. I'm
Yeah.
in a space where I like doing what I want to do when I want to do it, and spending the time with my child when I want to spend the time with my child. So when we're talking about people questioning where we go to and from, like that's something that he's dealing with right now. He's like, he's not ultimately where he wants to be financially, and that's where a lot of people stand too. It's like, I haven't even reached my goal yet. I'm not even financially comfortable and satisfied for me to be giving someone a part of me, because like me, like Sienna was saying, you get into these relationships like myself, and then it's like I put so much energy into that person, I take away from one of the projects that I started, and I'm like, right there, right there. That's how I know whatever there's good, evil is lurking, because honey, when I'm right there and meeting my goal, here comes somebody trying to. I'm like, okay, maybe this might be Mr. Right, but then it turns out to be Mr. Wrong. So shout out to Mary J. Blige for that song, honey. And it be like that. So I just like, you know what? It's just time for me to just get to where I ultimately want to be. It's like I don't need no distractions in
Yeah.
between. This is what I'm doing when I meet people. This is where I'm at. This is what I'm doing. Unless you're trying to add and help out to what I'm doing right now, then you are just a distraction. Like what love got to do with me meeting my goals? Love ain't got nothing to do with it right now. So don't hit me up if you. Yeah, love comes with it, but it's like right now, it's like you see I'm on a mission. Don't come in trying to be a distraction. What you gotta say, Javon?
Here's the thing, right? For me, it's more important. I think one of the main advantages I got is that I get to really do some introspection and learn how to align my energy to the things I want to manifest in life. And
Mhm.
oftentimes, having a wrong person relationship can do that, because to be honest with you, I'm not worried about independence, because if I'm in a relationship, I'm free as fuck anyway. I'm free regardless. I'm going to always have that. But what I want is we all to realize that the things we want in a relationship, you got to know what is important for yourself. And for me, I look at myself and look at what is it that my relationship look like. I get the better chance to custom make my relationship. I get to pit my relationship in my mind. I get to create what the experiences I want. What are the things I want for myself? I get to work on that so that I can attract the right person to align with that, opposed to constantly figuring out, oh, who's the right person, this person, trying to chase and doing that. And that's not where I'm at in life. So one of my advantages is to do that. Second advantage is I get to do shadow work whenever it's time, whenever I'm triggered to do so. Shadow work in a relationship may not be a good thing, because that might cause real problems in your relationship. And it allows me to now do the work within myself to clear all that energy that might be blocking me from the things I want. So that's the second thing. I think third I think the most important thing for me is I get to continue to find and create the person that I know I am to be.
Mm-hmm.
So those three things to me is it just all deals with the internal work for me, and that's what's important for me to the advantages to being single, if you ask me.
Well, now since we talk about the advantages, let's talk about the disadvantages. Um,
Mm.
like and the challenges associated with being single. I could tell you one thing. I have moments where I feel like lonely. And I'm just like, but then I snap out of it because where I'm at right now is not like I'm not in that space. So when you have been single for a while, those feelings don't last but for so long because it's your normal. But it's like when you're a person who have been used to always being in a relationship, and also me being married once upon a time in my life, it's just like you're used to having a significant other there. So that feeling does come, but it doesn't last long, I would say, from my perspective. Anyone else?
I'll say for me, it's just I want to like a helpmate is really like support. I'm gonna just keep it funky. It's like
That's a good
somebody else could help do something else over here or support over there. It's just like extra hands, you know what I'm saying? Like definitely the companionship and like you know what I mean? Sometimes you do want to be in the bed with somebody, whatever. It's I get that. But really truthfully when you break it down, like it's really about like support and help and like, you know, how I want to
balance.
build something with somebody. It's easier, you know, two heads are better than one, as they say. So in that respect, it's going to be more helpful. Two incomes are better than one. So
Right.
you know what I'm saying? It's that life in that respect. I feel is like the. I'm not going to say like that's the only like tantalizing thing about being in a relationship, but that really is the only thing that kind of makes me feel like, damn, if I had somebody else to like, you know, support when I'm a little lower here or vice versa, like that might help the scenario. But it's
Right.
yeah, that's it. That would be
Especially when
my
you're like single and you're doing it on your own as a woman.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. I mean, I feel like I mean, I get it. We in this whatever day and time, or people can feel however they want to feel. I'm not into that, or because I'm a woman, or because that's a man. I feel like because you're a human being on this planet, and you live in America right now, it's inflation like a motherfucking shit is mad expensive. It would be helpful if there was another person that was helping with these bills, and I'm sure the
see,
men could
see.
feel that too. You know what I'm saying? Depending on where they are in the world. And I know that might not be okay for men to say that they would like support or help in the ways of bills or whatever. I guess I'm supposed to say in the feminine ways, like, oh, you want somebody to cook the food and clean the house or whatever it is. But whatever the helpmate is there to do, that's the disadvantage. You just don't have the extra set of hands to
Right.
support.
The support. Like I think that's a really good answer right there. Do anybody have anything to add on to those two things? Loneliness, support. Is there anything else to add to it,
I
or should we
I
move on?
I think for me, it's more so that I would say the support on knowing that somebody got your back regardless. Like, you know, like, because I think we often get to these places where we're almost, and I say almost, forced to put on this mask so we can be presentable. I kind of want a partner that can see my nakedness and still find a way to love me with the flaws in who I am. And that's the thing I miss the most if I'm going to when I think about relationship is
Mhm.
because sometimes you get to this point of just like, yo, you say one wrong thing and then a situation is finished because you wasn't allowed to say that thing and they got turned away by it. And if I'm gonna be in a real permanent situation, it's because you know my heart more than anything else. And that's what more that I miss.
Nice, and I think that's why it's important to build friendships with people because a lot of times we're growing and we're at a certain age. I don't know how old you guys are, but I'm about to be 37, so so as you're getting older and stuff, your tolerance get a little bit lower, and then it's like what happens to like the days where we used to like build friendships and get to know somebody and then talk about being in a relationship. Everything is so microwavable right now. It's like, listen, the time is limited. Let's just like, okay, let's ask 101 questions and let's make this thing work. And it's like nobody is not nobody, but a lot of people are not allowing the time to get to know someone. And then when something does happen, it was like, you know what? No, that's a red flag. And there's so many red flag scenarios happening now that we're so easy to walk away. Because that's the big thing. Miss Smith said, if we wait until we reach our goals, will we ever be in a relationship? Question mark. Once we reach a goal, don't we gain another goal? That's a good question, sis. That's good. But I'm saying like you want to. Just to answer from my own perspective, because my perspective is just mine, and that's what it is. But I believe that let me reach some type of goal of stability, something where I'm comfortable, because knowing you have to know yourself, and me knowing myself and knowing that I take away from the things that I'm supposed to reach when I am with someone. I have to be, it's important for me to be with somebody who is going to be supportive in the things that I'm doing, who's not going to get in the way. Hey, aren't you supposed to be doing this? Like if I explain to them what I'm supposed to be doing, like, okay, I'm gonna give you your time. Because I was with someone before, and I would tell them, hey, I'm trying to study, and then they'll just pop up and get in my way while I'm trying to study. And I didn't like that, because it's like, now you're interfering with my time. Now I can't really pay attention to what I'm trying to do, because now you're here in my face. Now they're like, oh, what if we have to live together? Then I will just have a separate room. But when you're sitting here and in my way, in my space, it's like kind of hard for me to put my attention to what I'm supposed to be doing, and it'll be all on you.
That's selfish. That's the
Well,
key right there. That's selfish. You see what I'm
or
saying? Like this is we talk about the red flags or whatever. I mean, but those things are you have to pay attention to them. If
Mm,
something like that is happening, I mean, yes, you could discuss it and say like, hey,
right,
this is what I need from you or
right.
whatever. Even that, a lot of people aren't even able to have those types of conversations. Those down here, like, okay, I didn't like when you did this, or
Right.
this would be more beneficial or more helpful to me if you do, you know what I mean?
I
However,
agree.
or are you willing to do this, or can we compromise? Like, there's so
Right.
many conversations that have to be had, and it's what you said earlier, which is like we're grown or whatever, but a lot of people don't communicate
They
in
don't.
as an adult.
They
They
don't.
don't, they're like, they're still afraid, they're still overly emotional, they're still like, there's so many things. They're already hurt, they're damaged, there's trauma, there's all of these things. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So a lot of times people don't ask for, they're not honest, one, truthful, that's number one. And then two, like they're not honest with themselves, they're not honest with you. So it's like a
Mhm.
back and forth of like, you deal with my trauma, I deal with your trauma. I'm being selfish, but I need you to be codependent because I'm selfish. But no, I need, like, it's just it's a
Right.
man.
for my
No, you're right. You're telling the
My
truth.
advantages of being single right now to me. So, I think single is winning right now. That's too
I,
much.
I,
That's too
well,
much already.
I would like to chime in. I want to know
Good.
this understanding, right? Is this right? Oftentimes we are single because we've had these toxic experiences. But do we truly believe, and and this is a question across the panel, do we truly believe the person that we're looking for exists, does not bring that negativity? Not saying there's no resistance, because every time you bring in two people with their own traumas, it's going to be resistance. But would it be is there a possibility to have a healthy enough relationship that will respect each other's boundaries? Do y'all think that's a real thing? Because
But
I
you have
feel
to
like
discuss your boundaries, though. Like that, when Sienna was talking about, if some people don't want to have these conversations, I've met people where I can talk to them and say, "Yo, what you just did, that's annoying," and they won't get offended. But annoying can be triggered. What do you mean? Who are you calling annoying? So it's just like like it's just meeting people and having these discussions without it having to turn into a confrontation or a disagreement. It's like, I mean, well, we can disagree, but it depends on how you disagree. Because I've had a lot of mature conversations with people, and I've maturely even said, I don't think this is going to work for me, because it's just, I'm learning like we just don't fit each other. It just don't fit. But like Sienna said, like we have to be able to have these conversations without, because it's people that still have triggers from their last relationship, maybe the way it was said. Some people just take words so serious, and I'm like, It's just the word. Like, emotional intelligence is something that I've been praying to like work on in this cycle of my life because I mean, yeah, there are red flags. We could talk about the red flags, but after we discuss them, let me give you a chance to see if you are going to, take heed to what I said. Are you going to sit here and gaslight, or are you going to sit here and treat me any kind of way after I told you what the problem was? After I told you, do you care enough about my feelings to work on these things? So, and vice versa, me, do I care enough about your feelings, about your traumas, about whatever the case may be, like Javon was saying, so we won't know about boundaries unless we say them from the beginning. I was in a relationship with somebody and we were just dating. We went to counseling together, and the first thing that the counselor said was, your assignment is to address your boundaries to each other. And let me tell you, honey child, the person was so for it. And when I set that boundary, all hell broke loose. They could not take it. I'm like, this is our assignment. We couldn't even make it to the next counseling session. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, set your boundaries. Um,
Wait, you went to counseling
yeah,
and it didn't work?
person was saying that they wanted to marry me. And in my first marriage, TMI, but this is a learning experience. This show is to help people. But in my first marriage, we did not seek premarital counseling. So you say you want to marry me? Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's go to counseling. And that's what we did. We went to counseling. And then when that assignment was given, honey, that person could not take the boundary. And that taught me, and I needed that because it taught me how to speak up and set my boundaries. Either you're gonna respect them. If you like me enough, you'll respect them. Eventually, some barriers can get broken down, but it's like I gotta get to know you. I have to, there's some boundaries that I do have to set at the beginning, especially when I'm getting to know you. I have a son. I can't just be having people on nitty gritty, like in and out, like a revolving door around my child. Like, no, I don't move around like that. But what does a healthy relationship look like to you? We often talk about what we don't want, but what does freedom in a relationship look like? That's Darian Hill. Thank you.
I like that one.
Yeah, I like that
You
one.
want to answer it? You want to answer it?
Yeah, I like that one because I feel like sometimes it gets misinterpreted. I feel like when I say freedom, when I'm single, there are just things, and I mean any relationship, right? Because you just mentioned your son. So when you have a child, there are certain freedoms that you had before you had your child that now when you have your child, you have given up. Same thing in a relationship, but it doesn't have to be negative. It doesn't mean anything negative. But I can't pick up and say I'm going to Africa for 2 weeks next week, and I'm
Right.
in a relationship. You're gonna be like, where the hell? Where you going? You're going to Africa? Like, you have to have some sort of respect and understanding between each other. So freedom to me in a relationship looks, and it being healthy looks like I'm able to communicate how I feel, things like my goals, things I want to do without it being shot down. Because in previous relationships, I mean, I have literally been told, oh, you can't take that promotion. You take that promotion, you're not going to be my girlfriend because you're going to be working too many hours. You're going to be doing this. You're going to be doing. I've been told that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
That happened to
get
my
out of it.
aunt. That happened to my aunt. Exactly that. Like the
You
man
know?
kept saying he wouldn't marry her because she worked too much, and it's like, well, I mean,
But it's
I don't understand.
like, come on, man.
Somebody got to pay the bill. Sorry.
Right. No, no, totally. That's where I was. So when I say freedom, I mean like I know that I have to give up certain things, but I just have I have a list of things like my job that I'm not gonna compromise.
Yeah,
I'm just not gonna compromise. I can, if I can make something work and we can work something out as far as timing and being around each other and seeing each other, of course, cool. But I'm not gonna totally give up a career because somebody that wants to be in a relationship with me wants me to do so. Not anymore. I did it then. I'm not doing it going forward. I can be honest. I did do that, but not anymore.
Anybody else has anything that they want to add before we move on to the next?
I would say this: freedom for me in a relationship is me being who I am in the framework of someone else's boundaries and what their principles are. So everybody has principles of what they idea what it is. And the truth is, if I'm gonna get in a relationship, it's because their principles aligns with my lifestyle and vice versa, right? So if I have this lifestyle and they have these principles, it can't be a clash. So let's say there's a principle, this person thinks that okay, you're in a relationship, you shouldn't be going out to parties or events. My lifestyle is that's what I want to do. So we won't work there because your principle, my lifestyle does not work. So for me, freedom in a relationship is finding someone who has principles that aligns with my lifestyle and vice versa. My principles aligns with their lifestyle. And if you can find those things, then to me, that's what makes a healthy freedom relationship. Oftentimes people get into relationships where they either have to compromise their lifestyle for someone else's principles, or someone have to compromise their principles for someone else's lifestyle. And that's when you get resentment. So
Mhm. Mm,
so in my opinion, I think freedom is just finding the right person who aligns with the things you want to do, and there won't be no stagnancy. Of course, you got to honor their boundaries as well. You can't just be doing anything. Like if there's a healthy boundary that's set from the beginning and you accept to be in that relationship, you have to honor it, and you have to be willing to sacrifice some things. But it doesn't but you don't sacrifice the main things. You don't say I don't want kids and be with a person who wants kids. That never works. There's no compromise in there, right? So
Hmm.
know you're willing to compromise, and know what you won't compromise. Because
mm,
at the end of the day, every relationship has to align with your core values, and that's what the real thing is.
thank you, thank you. I totally agree. I totally agree. How many of us have met people, but for those who have kids, they met people and are just like, I want to have my own kids with someone who doesn't have kids
Yeah.
as well.
So that happened. That's like a scenario I just kind of came out of. Like I've been like single. You know how we use double talk these days.
Yeah.
I've been single for years, but I've had my share of
Mhm.
situationships, partnerships, interactions, so on and so forth. So one person I was dealing with for quite some time, although we were both single,
Mhm.
um, that was one of the main reasons why we weren't, because I have a child, but this person he didn't. You know what I'm saying? He preferred, or he wants to have a child or have children with a woman that does not have children. So for me, I already understood, you know what I'm saying, a long time ago that, well, we can't do anything together. That like this can't go any further than whatever this is, because we already don't match up there. Like I got a kid. So if that's what you want, I respect that. When we talked about freedom in a relationship, for me is literally it's the honesty of it all. That's where the freedom lies, really, is being able to say, be your honest self and say, this is what I want, or this is how I feel, or this is, you know what I mean? Like what's going on with me right now. Honestly, you have
Hmm.
the freedom to say that to that person, not without judgment, because everybody judges in their brain while they listening to you anyway. But in terms of like having the freedom to express it, and the person having like the wherewithal to at least like hear you, listen to what you're saying, and be willing to have the conversation, because you can talk out a lot of things. And
Right.
I think if you give that freedom of honesty, no matter what, you know what I'm saying, I think that you'll be able to at least salvage the connection or the friendship that you have with the person, if nothing else,
Mm,
like
right. Right.
that's the bottom line. So I said all to say, like, I just came out of a scenario like that. Like I already knew it wasn't gonna go anywhere seriously, because that's one of his criteria. And I respect that. Like if I didn't have children at all, you know what I'm saying? Then and I wanted to find a man that had children, that didn't have children, then I would have that right? Like I would have,
Right.
and so I respect that. And I have to just I appreciate his honesty. I will say that much.
That's women of you. Go ahead, Will.
I got a question for the ladies and the ladies with kids. So I had a situationship last year. Sometime it lasted for about maybe, I'm gonna say about 6 or 7 months. So the reason why it ended was because I'm the type of person that, when I'm dating somebody and I feel it getting serious, and you start questioning me about meeting my kids, I'm very particular about my kids. I have a boy and a girl, and and like Toya said, I just don't like bringing anybody around them because I don't know how long you're gonna be here.
Hmm.
She got mad and ghosted me because I said, "Well, look, we need to take time. I'll meet your son when I'm ready, and
Right.
my kids when you're ready. Now, of course, I have, I got my kid's mother. She was okay with it, but she just wanted to make sure that this was something serious. And I
Right.
told her it was. So my question to you ladies is like, when do you feel comfortable for a man to be around your kids as you are dating them or you getting to know them? Like, what does that look like for y'all as far as like being comfortable with them even laying eyes on your kids? Or just even being a circumference, whatever whatever that looks like, or does it look?
Well, I'll say this. I probably have the oldest child up here, so I've been dealing with this the longest. My son is 16.
Okay,
And there's
Oh.
there's no there's never been any men
okay,
around him. Even the person that I was in a situationship for years,
okay,
he knows of my son. My son knows of a person that I that I go out with from time to time, but he has no idea who this person is.
okay,
Because for me, it has to be like, this is going to be serious. We
Right.
got to have the conversation about this being serious now. Because
Right.
like other than that, I just don't feel a need. Because I have male friends, and what I don't mean like a person I'm having sex with, I'm being intimate with. I mean like a person that's just my real homie, like a person that could be around. If I got
Right.
married, they would be invited. Like all
Right.
of those type of friends. So
okay.
my son knows them. You know
Right.
what I'm
Okay.
saying? That's the
Right.
male representation he has around in terms of like these are mom
Exactly.
friends. He knows them because there's nothing like that at all. But in terms of like a person that I'm dating, and nah, it would have to be like we really gone. Like we've had the conversation of this is about to be a real serious
Right.
scenario. We have all of those like what this looks like. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how I would feel bringing allowing my son to know about like a poly scenario. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm being real. Like, you know what I mean? Like a monogamous scenario is always going to be easier to introduce to your child. You know what I mean? But like imagine a poly. Like how do you start to explain that? Like, you know what I mean? So I've been a part of these scenarios. So I don't want to, it's like, that's not really any of his concern until this is someone like, we're definitely doing this in whatever way. We've set the boundaries of the relationship and we're going to move forward. Then I think it's fine for him to be around.
Okay.
And get to know. That's just me though. And some people could say that that's backward. According to Steve Harvey, they doing wheelies outside of my house. Sorry. I'm like, sorry, it's the Wild Wild West. I don't know. I just heard. I'm like,
Listen, I'm from the area. I remember that lifestyle.
They in the block while I was doing this. All right. Sorry.
No, no, no. Don't be.
What I'm about to say, like Steve Harvey, I'm saying the opposite of act like a lady, think like a man. Because in his book, I don't know if anybody's ever actually read it, but in his book, he suggests that you meet them early. You know what I'm saying? That he doesn't think that you should wait forever or however long until it's a committed relationship. He believes that you should meet them early on to see if there's like some sort of like, connection and how the person is and all that other type of stuff too. So I feel that. I get that. So maybe somebody feels that way as well. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just always like, yeah, nah, you don't need to know what mommy's doing outside here until it's real. So the person could be in the house. I don't even introduce somebody to my family. No. They ain't seen nobody in about a decade. So they ain't seen nobody in about 10 years.
I know they be asking you questions like, Sienna, where you gonna get yourself a man?
My mom says like, my mom always says like, well, I guess I'll go to a wedding one day. I'm like, bro, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I ain't married. My oldest brother ain't married. My sister, like, none of us are.
Tay James says, when I feel in my heart that it's real.
And that's in reference to what? Okay.
What you were saying, yeah.
How do you feel about that, Toya?
I did it one time. I was dating somebody, and that's person is talking about marrying that wanted to marry me, and that just changed my whole perspective. It's just like it got to be years now. It was almost a year for that. Now it got to be years. It's like like my son's too precious. He still remembers the person name, still brings it up, and it's bring the person name up, and it's just like I don't want that like I don't want that. I still gotta hear the person name in my house after they're gone. So it's like my son has really good memory. At 2 years old, he talks really well, and I'm just like, no,
Girl,
no.
that's just kids. They also be trying to play their mamas out. I just want you to know, they be like, what happened to James? Remember James? He took me to the park. Where's James? Did James take me to the park? You be like, now you know you ain't seen James about 6 months.
Like,
Cut it out.
Listen,
it's
I'm
so
like,
first off,
James
first
take me to the
off,
park. You be like, boy,
Right.
get out.
let you be on the phone with a new dude. That ain't coming out real quick.
They be trying to play you too, bro.
He be like, Ma, so and so, and I'll be like, no and no, no and no, and then he's like, and he start laughing, and then I'm like, for
They
some
know what
like,
they're doing.
these pandemic kids, they're very smart. Let me let you know.
Hold
Oh
up.
my goodness.
Kids will play you before an
Exactly.
Xbox. Facts.
For real.
Modern warfare.
Yeah, they too smart, man. They too smart.
Kids will play you for an Xbox.
I want his name. Yeah,
Okay, so we're gonna let's talk dating.
Mm.
Whew, geez. Like listen, Sienna said, situationship, things like that. Listen, I've been watching like documentary series Tinder Swindler. I do not play. I do not play.
They got a show called Twindlers. Oh my
They have
It's really good. It's very good. You should watch it.
I need to watch it. Please do not get bamboozled, okay? So even men, because there's women out here that will bamboozle you by it. So it goes both ways.
These chicks and scammers out here too. Like,
listen, especially ones overseas, they be coming through with the 1-2s. I be like, I know you got somebody beautiful in your own country, honey. Stop playing. Stop playing. No, but I got my eyes on you. No, I'm good.
Y'all ain't see the plea from all the Nigerian men now saying like Lori Harvey got a Nigerian man, like they trying to show you like I mean, I can't find say I was thinking a little bit like he's talking to Nigerian man out here.
I'm definitely a supporter of Lori Harvey's man, but like he's an actor. He's certified. We know who he is, but somebody just listen. I've had people trying to. I'm like, how did you find my WhatsApp? Like, what is going on? How did you find me? Like, it's getting real out here. So it's like I gotta make sure I don't have a picture on my WhatsApp because they are finding all types of ways to find the girls and the guys.
I'm trying to tell you.
I had a friend who was introduced by a girl from Jamaica, honey. And I'm like, listen, that should have been a red flag at first because she hit you up. So she came after you. He went and married the girl, everything, got a lands, all types of stuff.
Man, you must not know the game in Caribbean.
Listen, now she like, I don't even want to deal with you now since she got her papers. So at the end of the day, walk with wisdom, ask God, pray for wisdom if you ain't got none.
He need Caribbean friends. Any Caribbean person will tell you.
Don't
go to the land and think you found a wife. You need to properly vet this person out because
you're Caribbean.
I'm speaking from I'm speaking from secondhand experience, not firsthand. It didn't happen to me, but I've seen this happen to people, right? No, it didn't. But seriously, like I've heard these stories of people going back to my family from Guyana. They'll go back to Guyana, fall in love, get married, bring them across to America, and this person in my South Beach living their best life. Like and they up in Jersey. Like, so
I've can't just do what they tell y'all to do. Like, it's people that need the papers. You can just marry them for the money. Like, if that's the case, I feel like just like give me the money, you ain't get a front. Like,
I get it already.
Yeah, the thing is,
you need 10 racks right about now.
No, but that happens too. That happens as well. People do pay to pay someone to marry them so they could get in the country. Like I know someone that had that situation with a Jamaican man.
Trying to save a coin, so they like, I'm about to swindle you with a bunch of love. I'm gonna love bomb you.
Look, man.
So, like, and offer your vulnerabilities, and then I'm gonna marry myself into this country. So y'all be careful out here. But how has dating life, other than the Tinder swindlers and things like that, how's dating life been for you guys?
For me, it's I
Hey, look.
okay. I think I'm gonna be the first one to speak on this one. All right. So for me, it is what it is, right? I I have fun with this dating experiences for me because I feel like it one every relationship, every person I'm finding at this point in my life has revealed a part of me that I need to either discover or work on, because
Mm,
oftentimes you attract them for a reason, so they have something to them, right? And I ran into a couple of toxic situations back to back, and I had to realize, yeah, it's something. You the problem. I'm the common denominator of this situation. I need to fix something. So for me, I've always had fun with it because I get to learn and grow from each
that's a good
situation.
way to look at it.
So that's pretty much for me, and at least, and it doesn't help that you go places, you could attract, you could find, you could connect. So I believe dating has allowed me to at least meet and connect with women that I probably would never connect with if I was in a relationship and stuff. So
It's been running up my mileage because I it's nobody in my town, and I don't want to date nobody in my town because it's a small town. Unless they're really not known about, I don't really be wanting everybody all up in my business. So it's just like living in a small town. It's like, who is here? And it's like, if somebody is here, it's like they're recycled. Like somebody's always recycled, but it's just like everybody that mess with everybody, a whole lot of, and then it's like I'm from Jersey, so that's 3 hours away. So the traveling, yeah, you could send for me and everything like that. But then it's like, okay, I'm looking at my mileage. That's like a 6 hour drive. I got to drive 3 hours there and then drive 3 hours back. So like now at this point in my
yeah,
life, I think God just put me in a space of like, get to where you ultimately
just
need
go
to
to
be.
Philly or something.
Philly's 3 hours away from me. Everything's three
Man,
hours.
that's 3 hours.
And where I live, everything's 3 hours. Canada's 3 hours away. Yeah, Canada's 3 hours away. Baltimore, Philly, Jersey. I'm like in the middle of West Bubble. So like where for real. So like at this point, God just like, listen, I'm giving you the space to just work on you, do what you need to do, get yourself in the space, just work on your motherhood and stuff like that. And if it's meant to be, listen, I'll drop him out the skies of heaven, honey, for you. But like right now, I'm just like chilling. I'm vibing. I'm kicking back. And it's nice to have conversations. Like you said, the fun part is nice to have conversations with people and stuff like that. But I'm done traveling. I'm done traveling to like go on dates and stuff. They're cute and stuff like that. But it's just like it's a lot. It's mentally draining for me. And it's taking away time from my life. So that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah. I feel you on the mileage part, but not the 3 hour part. That's a little different.
Yeah, that's a little
I
different.
live, because where I live in
Yeah, no
Florida,
train
I
stations.
live I live literally an hour away from Orlando, and I'm in the Orlando area. That's how Florida is so spaced out. So any action I do is in Orlando, and I gotta spend that hour. But then with traffic being it is, it's like an hour to get from one side to Orlando to another. So yeah, I could understand the mileage. It's just that 3 hour. Yeah, that's like me going to Miami.
Mm, mm.
that's, that's 3 hours for me.
Somebody
Man.
said, "What about Sunny? What about you, Sunny?"
Okay.
Woo, child. Oh, dating, huh? I mean, I'm gonna be really honest right now, right? Because everybody's being honest. I'm gonna be really honest.
Keep it
You
real.
just said the key. Yes, you just said the key word: recycled. I have been recycling people from my past, and I think that's a problem. Like, none of these people, as of late, have been anybody new. They're all people that I'm already familiar with. Something about them has made me comfortable enough to say, okay, let's try this again.
Mm,
And time again, I keep, and just like you just said a minute ago, you date people and you find that, okay, there's something else about me that like I could work on. So I mean, it hasn't been all technically bad because one of those situations I met you, La.
mm.
So it was nice to,
It was
I'm
nice to
meeting and
connect with
getting
you.
connection. Right. That was a big positive. So, it's not all bad, but I haven't found myself in a space where I'm able to step out of that comfort zone. That's
Right.
what I have not been doing. I have not been stepping out. However, at this moment, things are looking kind of okay. I, they're looking kind of okay. I am being courted. I am, hey, let's go here, let's go there, let's do this. And
Period.
not just let's go, but let's have conversations. Let's have meaningful conversations. How do you feel about this? And it's actually
I
pretty
feel
awkward when someone's like very concerned about how you feel. Because I'm like, wait, this is supposed to be normal, but it doesn't feel normal. Am I supposed to think that there's something is wrong? But there's nothing wrong. It's actually good. And I'm learning that I need to accept when things aren't, because I'm so used to turmoil. So used to turmoil, so used to confrontation, so used to having to put up a fight that, like, when something does come along that's like, I don't have to fight you. What? You're just gonna, and I don't have to fight for that? Oh, wow.
we
Okay.
love us
So
a
what do I
healed
do?
honey. We love us a healed man. So,
Yeah.
it's funny. Yes,
Yes.
I'm happy
Yeah.
for this. I'm
Thank
happy.
you.
Yes, I truly am. And we got another question from Miss Smith. She said, "At what point do you set expectations? The initial date, the date, or the dating phase?"
That's a good question.
Uh,
Um,
I
I'm,
like
go
both.
ahead.
I would say like the initial date, meaning like the first date. I like to set it like right then and there, and then kind of like segue it into the phase of dating. Like as I'm going on more dates, I
Yeah,
kind
come to the PowerPoint. Go
of,
ahead.
and kind of just make you aware as we're going along, and not not trying to put too much on you in the first date to where I'm scaring you off, but like, look, this is where I stand at. This is what this is what I'm looking for, and whatever the conversation may be.
So you won't waste your time. So you already know what you want. At this point, like I know what I want. This is what I'm coming with. And it's so crazy when before I moved away in 2015, I watched this show. It was like a reality show. And there's a bunch of successful women who are friends. But one thing I appreciate about this woman who always went on dates, she asked certain questions at the beginning of the date. Do you see yourself being married? How long will it be before you see yourself getting married? Like, I think that it's okay to ask these questions at the beginning because if you don't know what you want at this age in your life, then like I'm gonna give you back to the streets. It's okay because you got to figure out at your point, like you can figure out at your own time, but not on my time. Because me, I know what I want. I know how I want my life to be set up, and and I want you to like. I don't want our life to be the same, but at least like let's meet somewhere in the middle where we're like, okay, we can both work this out or whatever, and go from there. But it's like, honey, you don't even know if you want to get married at this age. Okay, you're gonna be like one of those memes when the guy said, "Now I'm ready for you," and he about 85 years old. Nobody got time for that. Nobody got time for that. Anyhow,
Got to set the standard real early.
very. What you was about to say, Sienna?
I don't set the stand. I'm not gonna say I don't set the standard, but I mean like the expectations. I don't have that conversation until again I know if I like the person a little bit more. Like the first initial date for me is like just getting to know the person. A lot of times, like that's when you were talking about like how is it dating for you or whatever. Like I don't like anybody. That's like I don't like a lot of niggas. Like, sorry, like I just don't like them. Or I'm not like I'm not settling in multiple ways. Like I'm not attractive. I don't like you. I don't. You know what I mean? Like I don't like a lot of people.
For real.
If we get to the first date, that's already like major one. And then if we continue, then I'll say like, all right, well, I must want to be here for some reason. So it's like I need to know like, all right, so what are you looking for? Like, how do you know what I mean? Like obviously you can have all those initial questions and stuff. But yeah, I would say it would be a few dates for me. Like after we did a few dates, you know what I mean? You know those times you sitting in the car, you about to drop you off, whatever, sitting in the car talking, like that's the best times for me. Like those maybe like third date, third date, you sit in the car for like another hour and we just talk about like all the yeah, and then then it starts to come out like, so you want to get married or you don't want to get married? Oh, you see yourself open or you see yourself like, you know what I mean? Now you could start to ask those questions. And that doesn't mean like, here's the thing, it's like people change. I mean, I agree that it's not up to you to like decide. Like, I'm not gonna be the reason that you decide to change. I don't believe in that mess of like, oh, I made a man want to settle down or something like
Right.
that. I don't agree with that. I think that that's something that you already want to do. Like, you have to want to do that. Like you said,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, that has to be an idea in your mind. Like, no, I want to be married. I want to have a family like this, or I want to be open, whatever it is. So yeah, I just wait. I wait a few dates. Definitely probably like 3. By the 3rd date, then I start asking like, all right, so what you really looking for? You know what I'm saying? Because we keep doing this. So I need, you know what I mean? But the first one is just trying to see if I even like you past that date. I don't know.
Yeah,
wait, I'm gonna give this advice that my aunt gave me, and I never take it. She said it's the worst. She says she said you better like who like you, and I hate that.
I hate that too because I don't really
people that like me, I don't be liking them, so I don't know how to like people like me. Like, I don't know if that's right.
I will follow.
I don't know if that's right.
Because
I like everybody. What do you mean? I like everybody. What that mean?
I met people who were very attractive, but when you meet them, their voice was like a little off, and I was like, "Oh, their voice turned me off." I was like, "Little things that be like getting to me sometimes," and I'll be like, "This is so bad." Or I'll meet somebody who's attractive, but the house is dirty. You know what I'm saying? And I just be like, "Ew." So one time I went to this person's house or whatever, and I was just like, because I wanted to see how they live, because I'm just like, okay, they make themselves look a certain way on the internet, and don't be fooled, girls and guys, because they be living like crazy. And like went in the house, and it was just like, it was a mess. It was like, it was giving me very much hoarder, and I was just like, I can't do this. So then I'm like, okay, I like to clean, but then I couldn't stop myself. I couldn't even really take the time to get to know this person, because I'm like, you can organize those hats and possibly hang them up. Like, he's like, oh, well, I gotta shelf that holds hats. I'm like, so why aren't they on the shelf that holds the hats? So it just was like, and then I'm like, oh, you got a mount right here. It showed your laziness because you got a mount here. You said your mount for the TV been sitting here for months. It's like, when you gonna put the mount on the TV? So I don't like a lazy man. And it's just certain things that was just like, and I was like, I don't know if I be nitpicking, but I was like, it's logical. Like, you got a mount that been sitting here all this time, and you saying it's football season, you can't do it. It take about, like, I could put up a mount myself. Like, my dad taught me how to put stuff up. So if I could sit here and get my stuff done in 2.5 seconds, it's like, what is your excuse? Nobody wants to hear all that, because that's
right there.
That's no good. That's a no-no. So then that person didn't see me after that day. And then also it's like, hygiene is very important to me, because like, I'll see somebody and if their teeth is like really yellow, I'll start going into like, charcoal, you can get it for $1 at Dollar Tree, and charcoal that can get rid of I'm like, you know what activated charcoal is? And he's like, what is that? And I was
but wait. So you gonna talk to somebody? This is what I'm saying. Like, if I already see your teeth beforehand, we're not having this conversation.
No, it was like, I leave the advice. Because I leave the advice not to be. Yeah, I'm looking at a man treat good. Like, I don't talk to nobody that teeth stay like that. I will leave talking to nobody. I give you advice because I give you advice before I leave. I give you advice before I leave. I'll be like, you know what charcoal is, and I'll like give advice, because I went to school for dental. So I'll leave you with some advice. You can take it how you want, but I really feel like how like they could take the advice so they can leave it. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, I always leave advice before I go, because I want you to know the reason why I'm not talking to you while I walk the road.
How did you get there if his teeth are already?
No, I didn't know the teeth was there, because like
I
didn't see them at first. The pictures, people be putting filters on their pictures, and then you go see them in public, and it's like, oh, your teeth like that. So I got in my car. I got back in my car. I swear on my life, I got back in my car and I left. But I told him about the activated charcoal before I got in my car. I swear on everything. And I was like, no, I didn't see them teeth at first, because people be online smirking and all this other stuff, or they put some filters on.
That's a sign. It's like they be saying to women, like, if you only see like just up here, like just here,
or they short,
you don't see nothing from here down. It's like,
my friend was like,
straight headshots, everything, straight headshots, straight headshots.
And I don't take no men that be taking bathroom pictures. Like, not send me no selfies from the bathroom. That is just look crazy.
Yeah, it's so much right now.
So just if you see out there in dating world, don't send me no bathroom pictures.
Oh,
Don't have it up on your page. This one guy was trying to talk to me one time from Atlanta, and on his page, when you go on his page, his profile picture, no, his profile, what is it? His banner above his picture, it just showed him with a phone in his hand, and then he's just posing with a shirt off. And I said, "You're giving me very much thirsty." And then he was like, huh? It was just he said, I just lost a lot of weight. And he showed me. I said, so why can't you have a before and after picture so people could see the transition? But you sitting here with a shirt off, it's not giving me, hey, look at my workout challenge or my accomplishments. It's giving me like, I don't know, it was giving off like sexual, like I'm a pervert vibes. And I just was like not feeling it. Like I was not feeling it. What's up, guys? That was too much.
Sorry.
The conversations y'all be having when we're not in the building be hilarious. Like
you hear me? Like,
women is ruthless in these
Yep.
Sure
conversations.
y'all are too, though. Like, don't you know what I'm saying?
I mean, we have our ways. I think
yeah.
I've been in situations, and I've been in situations where I've heard women talk amongst women and how men talk to men. We had that, we had that very dismissive ways of how we talk about women. Y'all will go to the juggler and talk about women about the dudes in the worst way. His teeth ain't
No, but I will. I do talk to them about like certain things. I'm like, maybe you should clean up, things like that. But that's when I'm going to keep on talking to them. I'm not saying I'm going to keep talking to them, but I do leave some advice before. And I even tell my friends, I be like, girl, just tell him. She was like, because this is the reason why he ain't got nobody now. And I say, maybe you should let him know what he need to work on. I say, this is your energy. You can give out the energy or not. But my thing, listen, I like to educate people. That's just me. It's not for everybody. But I'll let you know why I'm not dealing with you, because this will be the last time I talk to you, but you will definitely know why. And if you choose to change in your life, I might see you years down the line and you might be a changed person. To each his own. But I want you to grow. I don't want people staying stuck. Like I'm sitting here, like I seen this person. I said, you would be so. He had his braces in his mouth since probably like 2012. The metal pieces was still there. I'm like, when you gonna get these things removed? And it was like plaque and everything building. And this is a friend, not even like a person I was dating. Even my friends, I make sure that I tell people, listen, get your life together. Like, because if I find you to be somebody close to me, I ain't gonna let you stay stuck. But if that's how you want to be in your life, this is why you're behind gonna be single, possibly. Because you handsome, but that mouth is giving me very much Jerome for Martin.
You
Yup.
so much better than me. You so much better. I assume that the person must want to look like that because you know how you look. You know, we know how.
I know. I just some people are so oblivious. Like, how can you not see yourself like that? Like, it's. I can't understand that. Like, it's a lot of people who don't see past. It's like, I don't know if the clarity in their mind, like this is okay. Like, I don't know. Like the level of okayness is not.
Well, you're right though. Some people have never heard it. I mean, I feel like two of y'all have made really good points as far as like you can be in a situation with someone that is actually toxic, but then learn something about yourself because you're able to look within. But then you can also be the person to let someone know outwardly or inwardly that they have this and this and this and that to work on, and I'm out. I'm not gonna help you fix it, but
Right.
these are the things that I see. Sometimes people are able to see it within themselves
I
after a
can't stick
situation.
around.
Some people need a push. Yeah, some people need a push.
I'll be honest though.
But
I prefer you letting them know what it is and being honest than ghosting. Like I prefer you to let them know exactly this what it is. This is what I don't like, and
I
it
prefer.
is before you ghost. Because the truth is, after you ghost them, you leave them with no understanding of why,
They're
and
like,
they
what
get to
the hell?
formulate any. They could go. They could formulate any toxic reason why you don't want them, and that's
Yeah,
not.
because
a good
I
place to
believe in
be
karma. I believe in like you read what you sow in the karma, whatever you want to say. So I just try to put out the energy I want reciprocated back to me. So even if I'm talking to somebody, like let me know something about myself. Somebody be like, "Oh, you stubborn." I know that about myself. I know I could be stubborn. I have logical reasons why for my stubbornness, but I'm working on it because it just depends on the scenario. Because I have to be stubborn. Like you have to be stubborn, especially if you have a 2-year-old. It's just some things I have to be stubborn about. I'm not easily opening up that door, honey child. But yeah, it's just the dating. It gets real out here in the dating world. I'm just telling you. Like I tried the app thing. My friend told me. I deleted it the same time I opened it. I said I can't do this because honestly, I don't know if it's because I'm an empath or whatever. But when I'm scrolling, I see energies, energy, energy, energy. I'm like, these people look crazy. Like it's so many like crazy different emotions. Like it's just so much. It be messing my brain up. I can't do it. So I said I like the organic approach. Let me meet somebody organically, or if I'm associated with them through somebody or something like that, then I'm fine with that. But like that dating app stuff,
Yeah.
that's my
Y'all,
brain.
do y'all
I have
think
never tried dating app or online.
I
Has
can't.
anybody tried that?
do y'all think social media messed up the dating world? Like the
Ooh.
organic thing?
I
I
wouldn't
think so.
necessarily say. I think it can mess up the dating world. But I wouldn't take away from anybody because I've met people who met their husbands online.
Okay.
So like it's just so many different scenarios. It just depends on how you're moving. It's the same thing. You meet a stranger outside walking every day, you meet a stranger online, but you have to make sure that this person is real. There's just a lot of research you have to do, and that's why I said I like the organic approach, but I also like knowing that you're associated with somebody I know as well.
Mm-hmm.
That if I do find myself meeting somebody is because, or taking the time to get to know somebody because I know that they're associated with somebody I know on that.
I
Just,
would say personally, it's social media is a benefit and hurts. So I think it does both things. See, the benefit of social media is that it opens the world to people you probably would not meet outside or where you want to go, and they might be a valuable person. And that's why you've heard people who've met their significant others, their spouses, their soulmates, all these type of relationships through social media. So that's one of the benefits. But just like that's a benefit, it could be a detriment because now a person who are in a situation that may not be going the way they want, instead of giving that energy to work on that relationship, what they'll do is start DMing the person that aligns with who they want. And that's the problem, is that people think that there's always someone better because they like their pictures or they say
mm,
nice things in the inbox. They feel like this person's better than the person they with. So I
mm,
think there's a both side, and to me, social media just balances it all because again, you might be in a really, think about it, in the old relationship, in old days, people stayed in relationships because they was not, and I mean, let me say that again. People stayed in toxic relationships or messed up relationships all because they didn't think there was anyone better than the person they were with. And with social media, it opens that possibility for a person to realize, hey, I don't need to deal with this abusive, toxic nonsense if I know that there are more people that might be interested in what I have to offer.
True.
mm, mm.
Yeah, I'm all for the dating apps. I feel like I've been on all of them. I've been on Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, yeah, all of those things. I've met some great guys. You know what I'm saying? Like I've definitely gone on a
Well,
few.
girl, let me know where you go.
It's
Let
so cool.
me know where you go because I got girl.
Oh, I mean, well, the best I would tell you the best ones. Stay off of Tinder. Go more like Hinge or Bumble. Those are better.
I live
Like,
out of woods, so all I see is Billy Joel
well,
and
yeah, it's that part too. You know what I'm saying?
honey. I be
I
like, I can't do
I
this.
did the dating apps because I wanted to open up my radius. Like I pretty much
Mm.
stay in the same. I've lived in the same place my entire life. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? Those that do know me know me. I know them in this area. You know what I'm saying? So it's like talk about recycled or just
Right,
over, or there's nobody that I'm looking at that's in this area that has caught my eye in that respect. So I
right,
did it because I wanted to like see what else was out there.
right.
Um, and yeah, I had a good time. And that's the thing. I just didn't go and talk about expectations again. I didn't go in with the expectation of like, I'm going to find my husband on
Right.
Tinder. You know what I mean? Like if you're like all of this is off of just like if you meet somebody in the street. Now it's just attraction first. Is what you see, what I see. That's what it's all based off of. Oh, you think I'm attractive? I think you're attractive. All right, maybe we have some other things in common. A
Right.
lot of times you don't, and that's the same thing that you'll experience from meeting somebody wherever in the street. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't automatically mean that because I met you organically, now we're gonna naturally have more things in common. That doesn't mean that at all. There still was the level of attraction. It's just like now you can like, you know, do it in a handheld way and see somebody somewhere else. I will say the hardest part though is I can totally understand what you're saying about the 3 hours away vibe. I'm not experiencing that, but a hard sell a lot of times is being in Jersey. And when you meet a lot of guys in New York, like I don't want to travel, they don't want to travel. So it's already like, well, I guess we're out of. That's one of the first things a dude will say, like, "Oh, where you at?" I'm like, "I'm in Jersey." They be like, "Well, I'll travel. I'll come to Jersey." Be like, "Oh, all right." At least he willing. Because some people would just be like, ghost immediately, like, "Oh
New
my
York,
god."
yo, New Yorkers treat
It,
coming to Jersey like they traveling to
Yeah,
California or some shit.
definitely.
Shit is
Because
crazy.
they feel like you gotta
Like I would
drive.
say that's the biggest obstacle is like you meet a lot of New Yorkers, you know what I'm saying? And then a lot of them is not they not beat.
Yeah,
Right.
because everything is like a train to them. They could jump on the next train, like what train you on? L train, whatever, whatever. But they think like everything is driving over here. So,
Yeah.
well,
Right.
I'm
I
saying over here, I'm
I
remember.
not-
mean it kinda is, but I
I
hear you.
I remember back when I was living in Jersey. I lived in Irvington. One bus takes me to Penn Station. One train takes me to New York. Like
that's
so. I met some people in New York, and I told them they from Jersey. It's like, damn, you came from all the way out there.
like, what?
Like all the way.
Far.
Like all the way.
Oh,
I said I got here within an hour. Like it wasn't that deep. So New Yorkers treat Jersey like it's the farthest thing in life to go to. Like it's crazy. And mind you, there's some parts and you could go to some parts from Jersey to like Brooklyn, then you going from like Brooklyn to like the Bronx. It's much quicker. So it just don't be making
It's true.
sense.
So we're gonna go on. We got like two questions left, but I'm gonna try to like combine them, okay? Because the time is going. So the first question is, how do you cope with being single? And the second one, tips and or advice for being joyfully single. How do you cope with being single? And tips and advice for being joyfully, whatever word you want to put, joyfully, happily, whatever, single.
How do you cope?
Cope? I feel like I don't really cope. I feel like I accept it. Like
Mm,
I feel like I accept that I'm single. I'm okay with being single. I mean, I feel like a couple of people have said that. I feel like we've all said the same thing essentially. Like you have the time to work on yourself. A friend of mine brought that to my attention early in my 20s. You know, you're always in a relationship. You need to like sit down and take care of you for a second. And that stuck. I mean, I've heard it from other people, but that particular friend, it stuck.
right.
And so from 20 something till now, I'm 32. I feel like I've taken heed to that. Single, there's nothing wrong with being single. And someone said earlier about always being asked about, hey, when you're gonna find a man, when you're gonna get married. For me, it's when you're gonna have kids because I don't have any kids yet. Thank you, my brother. He has a baby now, so my mom is like, she's good. She's a grandma, so we're good. Okay.
Oh,
But
number okay. When you that don't mean that stops for the moment. The next thing
I'm
is
off.
okay. Your turn. When are you gonna do it? Like, what you mean? Your brother. That's your brother. What about you?
It's
the
coming.
pressure is the pressure is off slightly, so I enjoy. I'm able to enjoy it a little more because I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable being single. I'm happy with myself, and I think advice would be find those things that you really like and dig deep. Stick your feet, your foot, your legs, your arms, your head. Stick your whole mind into your thoughts and the things that you like to do, and go for them. Go after your dreams. Go after your aspirations. Follow your heart. Whatever it is that you like to do outside of being tied to or tethered to someone else, and follow your dreams. Those things make me happy. I'm a truck driver. When I'm at work, I am happy. I like my job. I don't like my job completely, but I like working. I like driving the truck. So I that's something that I kind of just throw myself into, not to absorb my entire life, but because there's other things that I do like to do, travel, see the world, nature, read. So there's things that you can do in order to stay happy and find your peace. And I don't know if it's been touched on, but like my faith is like the number one thing in my life. And
Mm,
if I feel like I have no one else to talk to, I literally just talk to God. And I don't feel like I have to like, do anything specific, sit down and kneel and pray. I could just be in a room, it's quiet, and I don't have to say anything. I feel like he hears my thoughts. And I feel like that's where I have found my peace. And
mm,
whatever anyone out there, is whatever your peace is, don't let anyone deter you from your peace being yours and
mm,
owning it. That's
mm.
it. Sorry.
I like that. I like that. What do you got to say, Sienna?
What were we talking about? Being happily single,
How
or
do
how
you
do you cope
being
with being
single?
single?
And the other one, oh, I put sing, honey.
You know what you mean.
And tips and advice for being single.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, again, I'm gonna agree with Sunny on that. It's just like it's life, and it's not really like coping with it. You know what I'm saying? It's not like COPD. I felt like that was like a disease or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you cope with? You know, like it's just like
That
you know what I mean?
that sound like you're mourning. Like how do
You know, like how do you
like you're
cope with?
mourning a
You
relationship?
know, yeah, I'm good. Like I've accepted it. Obviously, same as Sunny. That's what I said. And I guess the joyfulness I would say is just like just don't make this about somebody else. Like that's such a hard thing for like the world. And I get it. Like I guess we're all supposed to be like 2x2 on Noah's Ark or whatever y'all want to make the life to be. But I really think that, and I don't want to sound like discouraging to people, but it's okay to be by yourself. It's okay
Right.
to be alone. It's okay to not be married ever. It's
Right.
okay to not have children ever. It's okay.
Right.
It's these things are okay. It really
Right.
is. So I mean, that's why it's just hard to cope with because like society has trained us
Right.
to think like if
The
you don't
norms are.
do this, if you don't have this partner, you don't have this, baby picket fence, whatever vibe,
Right.
the world, you pretty much didn't like do what you were supposed to do as a human. And that's just not true at all. Listening to like a mentor of my Sadhguru, if y'all listen to him, right? He talks about how much easier it is to reach the state of nirvana as a single person than having to do it with a partner. So I mean, it depends on your goals in this life. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like again, I'm more myself when I'm with myself, when I'm by myself. It doesn't mean that I don't have relationships. It doesn't mean that I don't have sex. It doesn't mean that I don't enjoy my life and feel fulfilled. It just might mean that I don't have like a physical partner, and that is okay. You know what I mean? Like if I find one, that's okay, and if I don't, that's okay. Like that's really, I just don't want it to make it such like the pressure of like, oh my God, if I don't find a partner, I did not
Stage or fulfill.
I'm not, you know what I mean? I already feel like that about a baby. So I understand, like, that's something I say to people all the time. Like, I did my womanly duties. I had a baby.
Right.
It's a birth. I had a birth here. Like, I did the job that I was supposed to do on the earth, I guess, right? And here we go. I don't know. Everything else is kind of left up to me at this point. I don't know. Like, it's not, I just don't think it's that serious anymore. You know what I mean? I think that life,
because you experience life
to be fulfilled. Yeah.
Because you experience much of life, and that's how I feel. To piggyback off of what you're saying, Sienna, like I had my child. You know what I'm saying? I had my child. I got married. I purchased a house, and I did what would have been considerably the fairy tale.
Yeah, you did. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm gonna like you did it.
I did it. But then it's like I accomplished it. Now it's like, okay, I accomplished it. Now what's time to accomplish being single and get in learning me, because most of my life I have, or a lot of times of my life, I have been taken. I've been putting my energy into others. I have been giving back to others. So this is an important time for me to get to know me more. And I'm I'm about to be 37 tomorrow, and I'm learning a lot about myself, which I had not known. I'm really enjoying learning these facial routines, like my facials, and doing things for myself, even if it's like polishing my own nails, like giving back to me, having those times, that those intimate times with myself. When somebody called me, when I used to call people, girl, let me call you back, I'm watching my show. I rarely watched TV because I was so busy pursuing dreams. I'm like, girl, I'm about to watch a show. I'm gonna call you right back. It feels nice to tell somebody I'm gonna call them back, because my phone lines were always open for so many people. Even today,
Mhm.
a friend may have hit me up and said, a friend hit me up today and I wasn't able to get with her. I'm gonna get with her, but it was like I had to give back to me today. I needed this time for me. This is my day off. This I needed to pour into me, pour into my child, the time that I had with him, be intentional and be present. So it was just like I just sent the praying hands. I sent up some good words of encouragement, and I had to get back to Toya. So it's just like at this time, I really believe wholeheartedly in my life. The time that I stopped thinking about a relationship, the more I work on me, the more that I become closer to my path. Whatever's meant for me, it will be there. And if it's not there, it wasn't meant to be there. I want to go on my girl vacation trips. I want to start having lady vacations. Like I go out with my friend Dia. Sometimes we'll go away on trips, and it feels so good to go out with my friends, even if it's guys and girls together, all together, just getting together, turning up, having fun. Those things are fun. That's fulfilling for me, that I'm able to just enjoy life and have good people to talk to. I'm learning to appreciate the friends that's in my life right now that I already have. I have some dope people in my life, just to have a sit down. Hey, what you doing? What you need help with, or whatever. How we can help fulfill each other's purpose in this life, and not for me to be out here like, getting so sidetracked about what the societal norms are and scaring me, thinking that I have to, whatever goal I wanted to reach, I literally reached it. And it was like, it wasn't all like, it wasn't Cinderella story, it wasn't this, it wasn't that, for me wanting to be so perfect, it all fell apart. So it's just like, life is life, and be okay where you are, be content with where you are. And I'm gonna just add, that's what I'm adding to the ladies.
Can I just say something real quick before we go to the guys? Thank the both of y'all, ladies, for sharing your story, because and I feel like that's an important part of being single after being through situations, especially having kids. For us people who don't have kids yet, is to hear these stories. And I think that to speak about people from, like our parents and grandparents and them staying in situations, they kept things quiet. They didn't speak to each other. They didn't have these open conversations and talk honestly about how they feel and what's going on in their household. So I appreciate forums like this where I can be encouraged to not try to rush into something just to meet some sort of quota, and then I'm going to be totally blindsided when it doesn't work out. I appreciate both of y'all sharing your story. I can't wait to hear what the guys have to say also, but I appreciate it because these type of dialogue is very important, especially for our community to have.
Mm. Go ahead, Will.
Nah, like for me, I got to piggyback off both of the ladies with this one. Definitely not in a coping sense, but um, being single has given me like happiness. It's given me peace. It's given me tranquility. It
Mm.
even like just the dating world. I'm meeting different people. I'm learning a whole lot about myself that I didn't know. A lot of things, and one of the biggest things for me in 2022 was like accountability.
Mm.
Us men, we don't like to take accountability for certain things that we do in a relationship, or how we were the ones that messed up the relationship. And I'm just speaking from a man's aspect because, quite naturally I'm a man. But yeah, man, it's been a beautiful thing, and once I'm ready, whenever that time comes, if marriage is in my future, then I'll be thankful. If it's not, like she said, I mean, okay, I'm fine with that. I definitely would like to, but I'm not chasing it down. I'm not like got to get married by 40 something or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Wait, isn't that what everybody did though? We all said in our minds when we were young that I would be married by this
Yeah,
age, I would have
Yep.
kids by this age, I would be doing
Right.
this by this age, and
yeah,
I have done none of those.
Right.
yeah.
All of those things I've not done. I've done other great things, but
Right.
that's right there, and that's why we got to get rid of this idea of like, oh God, you have to cope with being single. Like, no, it's like live your life and like it will come. It will like that. If you meet somebody along the way and it works, like that's what's up. You know, and
good,
that's
good.
great. That's amazing for you, you know, but
If
like,
you don't live, you don't wasted so many years in your
yeah.
head. Like you've given so
I
much
didn't accomplish this. I didn't do this. I'm not here yet. It's like, oh my God.
Listen, I think that's what
attention.
kind of messed up a lot of situations I dealt with because I felt like that pressure of them feeling like I've been single for so long and I want to make this work. And it's so badly, it makes me want to say, yeah, I can't, because I feel forced into trying to fulfill a wish that's not naturally mine.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm,
so I think it's important to know that you have to. I look at it as this, right? And I might as well get to the question and make wrap my question around what I was going to say. So yeah, the cope. Nah, I'm out here living my best life. You know,
mhm. Not
regardless.
seeing
Like
that carnival with your little outfit on.
fact, you know what I mean. I was in kind of, jamming up. Yeah. Anyway, so no, but I get to I'm enjoying my life. I'm enjoying this. It's a beautiful thing to be single, just like the day I get into a relationship is gonna be beautiful as well. I don't believe that it should be anything less than what I want it to be. Right.
Good.
So for me, the beautiful, the joyful and the happy thing about being single is the beautiful thing is this. I get to make the rules. I
Mhm.
get to make the rules of who I want, what they look like, what they bring into my life, the energy they are, the accountability they got to have. Because guess what? I'm working on myself. I'm holding myself accountable. I'm doing the things for me. So I know that if I could do this for me, I have every right to do it for someone and not look like a hypocrite for doing that. So to me, the beautiful aspect of being in this place, especially, I'm not gonna sit here and say like I'm all the way healed. No, I don't think that's not the purpose of life. Is to be all the way healed, but it's to progress on this healing journey. And for me, being that I'm progressing more on this healing journey, it really feels good to be single, not feel like I'm in a rush for something, but also have a healthy desire to want and yearn for something, right? That's nothing wrong with that. We should yearn for that because I do think that in a healthy, loving relationship is a beautiful thing. And when you truly see it, I'm not talking about the social media couple goals BS they be talking about. I'm talking about in real life when you see couples that really on the same page, same space, and they're really working with each other, it's a beautiful thing. And I
Yeah.
do yearn for that, but I'm not. That doesn't bring my happiness lower. That doesn't make me less joyful. That doesn't make me love myself any less. It just, I acknowledge that's the deal. But for me, it's more important. For me, is really about just knowing that I make the rules and what it looks like for me. And I get to really design the person that it is for me. And when it manifests, it's gonna be beautiful. And if it don't for whatever reason, it's still gonna be beautiful.
He over here trying to find him a platform. Y'all hear him, ladies? Y'all hear him? He done put his whole resume out here. He's like, he done put a Peter Cook, honey. Okay. I love you, Javon. That's my bro. So,
What's up? That's a good one. That's a good one.
I was like, okay,
Hey,
beautiful. And yes, manifest it. I'm telling you, use all platforms, honey. Not only
Listen.
the dating apps, honey.
Hey, if I get an inbox, at least I can come back and say, hey,
I got
whatever you say, help me out in my situation, right? We met because of whatever you say. That's a great story, right?
Hey.
you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, we are coming close to the time. We've been over an hour. This has been a really good show. I try to keep it at an hour, but it's been a really good show, and there's been a lot of points that have been made today. And I hope that people have learned something, grabbed something from different perspectives of the show. That's what life is. It's so many different people, so many flavors and colors, and we're just all different, but all our differences, you can find something from each of us and put it towards your own, or listen, your life will still be your life and you can make your own story. So We're going to close out now. So I'm going to go one at a time. We're going to start off with Dr. Love Jones, who is on here talking about beautiful love that he's trying to get. Go ahead.
Um, uh, you can follow me. That's my IG. That's my at name for everything. Clubhouse, TikTok, IG, whatever, right? Bigo, whatever, right? You can find me on I am Dr. Love Jones on Facebook. Is Javon, you can look up Javon Dr. Love Jones as well. I am an author myself. My book is right here, Level Up, How to Start Living Your Best Life Now. Uh, you can look that up. I'm going to type in the comments on both YouTube and Facebook on where you can find it. It's called Level Up, How to Start Living Your Best Life Now. You can get it on levelupbestlife.com. You could also get it on Amazon. So you definitely get the book, get you a copy. A lot of the same essence of what I talk about in here, not because it's not a dating book, but I still, my foundation of my message is in that book. So definitely, if you value anything I say, you're going to value the book.
Yeah, period. All right, let's give it up for him. Next, we got in line Rutledge. Let them know where can they find you. What's going on with you?
So I got two pages. The Rutledge underscore podcast is generally just more so like geared towards the podcast and promoting the brand. William underscore Rutledge is more so like personal. A little bit of the podcast on it for the most part. Realizing me on my podcast is just pretty much me talking about my early life in Jersey, living in East Orange, and all of the trauma that I've dealt with, past trauma, future, whatever you want to call it, and mental health. I really discuss a lot of mental health issues within the Black community. I try to make it like a broader spectrum to where anybody can come up there without being judged and speak about certain things that they have been maybe have they dealt with or are dealing with. You know, relationship aspects, anything. You know, my it's a personal space where you can come and do your thing. Just come and check it out. I'm on all platforms: Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Anywhere you look up my name, William Rutledge Podcast, 9 times out of 10 it's gonna come up.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. And that's my cousin too. So next we have on, we got our girl, Miss DJ Sienna Chanel. Where can they find you?
Oh,
Talk
yeah.
about
All right, guys. So she has my old ad up there. I changed my name a lot. I'm like one of the kids, so don't mind me. But you can find me anywhere at DJ Sienna Chanel. And just a special announcement, I'll be doing, starting, releasing, dropping, whatever that word is, on the 24th, Tuesday the 24th. I love Tuesdays. I'm starting a podcast myself. It's called Perspective Porn. So y'all gonna get a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We definitely like to push the envelope. We trying to cancel culture. And yeah, check me out at DJ Sienna Chanel and watch out for Perspective Porn coming up soon, Tuesday, 24th. Okay.
period. And next we have in line, we got Sunny Baby. Where can they find
Hey,
you?
I I actually just got back on social media after COVID. I feel like I probably should have kept my old page. Um, so I am rebuilding, rebranding. I have some things that I'm working on for this year that I don't want to announce just yet. But if you'd like to keep up with me, that's definitely, oh, it's on the side. That's definitely my at name, sunnybaby.313 on Instagram. My real name is Sherry. My last name is kind of hard to pronounce, but I am on Facebook. But you can find all that on my Instagram page. Follow me, add me, I follow back, all those things. And I'm so happy to have been here. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. And then you have me, your girl Lie. Thank you all for being on the show. Once again, if you want to be on the show, just hit us up at whatever you say.info@gmail.com. I'm looking forward to have you on here. Every month we do shows about relationship. Join us on February 1st where we talk about your relationship with money. That episode is called Relationships. So we got some financial advisors that will be on the show, but every second show will always be a panelist about relationships. And on the 15th, we're going to have a full panelist of men. And then the following month, we'll have a full panelist of women. because now it's time to separate the groups where we can start having our girl talks, and then I get a chance to be quiet and just hear what they have to say with their egos and from all their different perspectives, honey. So like, share, and subscribe on our YouTube page, like our Facebook page. As you can see, I have it listed below where you can find us, and then we're also on Apple and Spotify. I'm starting to load new episodes. I just want to send out love and light to the girls who used to share the platform with me. They moved on and ventured on to other things in their life, but I wish them all the best love, peace, and success and happiness, honey. And that's just the truth from your girl La. And as always, it's whatever you say, and it's whatever I say. And peace out. Mhm.